You don't want to set towels down on your window ledge or you're going to have an extra mess to clean up. You can use small towels or one larger towel. And then you just want to rotate it to where it's tight one direction. Again, we're just dealing with Dawn dish soap and mop bucket. And you got all this grease buildup up here. Start from the top, work your way down again. I just go from one side and then I just wipe down with the sponge. And then at this point, because I always get really gruddy on the handles, that comes clean. Just now with your blinds itself, if you have it rotated this way, you're just gonna start. I'm just holding it so it's not moving around as much. And I'm just lightly rubbing. And of course, you want to clean your blinds before you clean your window, because you're going to potentially have to re-clean your window if you didn't. Anytime you hit a spot that's really bad, just a little extra elbow grease. Just wiping the grease off. More nicotine, because if you're a smoker and this is the bedroom, you're going to have a little bit of nicotine buildup. But this happens to be the kitchen, so we have the grease buildup. And then do the same thing for each cubby. If you happen to hit a spot that's got something really stuck on it, take your all-purpose cleaner of choice and spray that spot, give it a minute, and then hit it, and it should come right off for you. And if you have a spot that just doesn't want to come off, and if this is something that you wipe down on a regular, you can get away with doing just with a rag if you're doing it on a regular basis. The other thing that helps keep this grease from building up is running your hood fan anytime you're frying or baking anything, because then it doesn't have as much grease floating around in the air to accumulate. You're just re-dipping. And as you can see, I'm leaving a lot of residue behind because we'll have to come back over it with a rag. All I'm doing is getting the scrubbing part done. And then now's a good time to ease it out. And you can wipe your base down. If you've let food build up, you can either do what I'm doing and put the elbow grease into it, or you can hit it with an all-purpose cleaner, and you probably won't have to scrub as hard. And then just cleaning the back edge. Some of you may wonder if it's easier to take it down. It is, but you need a really clean surface on the floor, or you would have to put a towel down under it, or you're just gonna keep playing transfer the dirt around. So I found that this seems to be the easiest way for me. Just gonna flip it over. Normally the side that's been closed forever has got a lot more grease buildup on it. In the event that you've had that problem, take your all-purpose cleaner and you're just gonna grease spray it down. But as you can see, it takes a lot more effort, but it will come off. And hopefully that gives a good A and B. This is a good example as to why you're gonna have to re-clean your window after you're done. You just want to get the excess as much off as possible. And then we'll wipe down with a rag. And if they're still being stubborn, unfortunately, you may have to do what I'm doing right now. If your all-purpose cleaner is not working super well for you, you're going to want to get a degreaser, something with a degreaser in it, if you let yours go to this point. Now, if you let yours go this long, I'm going to recommend 2 rounds of this. You're just going to want to get the excess off because nobody wants to spend their whole day cleaning one mini blind. But if you get the bulk of it off, then you can come back at a later date before it gets a chance to build up again and do the final wipe down cleaning. One of the did this was to show you guys that even if you let it go, you can get back to the way you need to be without a whole lot of special stuff. Now we're to that point, you want to open it like so. You want to find your wet rag. Now I typically just take a corner and pinch my fingers, and I just wipe them back and forth on both sides at the same time. If you're cleaning on the regular, most situations you can potentially do this way with the wet rag and Windex, or just a wet rag. Wipe them back and forth. I also recommend having your hand on the blind you're doing at any given moment. That way you don't lose track of where you've been or where you haven't. And you want to occasionally rinse out your rag, so you can kind of pull down, and it's a good time to rotate. You can see what you're doing. You can either use a dry rag at this point, but I'm actually out of dry rags. I'm just going to get this one really good and wrung out. And then I'm just going to wipe up, get the rest of this debris off. This works a lot better with the dry rag than it does with my wet one, but it will work.